Hello.
And welcome to Film
Bastards. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode 571 of Film Bastards. My name is Ian Loring, and as always, I am joined by
Becky Foster. Hello, everybody.
I'm Matt Foster. Hello, everybody.
Now, you may have noticed there that Becky sounds, maybe like 10, 15 years her senior. Bless her. So Bex is under the weather and she's not going to talk too much. But she obviously needs to be on because it's review of the year show time.
Boom.
There we are. Yes. So we are finally, now that the Brutalist has been seen, doing our review of the year show on the 28th of January. So for those who may be newer to the show, we're going to be talking our top 10 of the year, our bottom 5 or 10.
I've done 10.
I've done
10, yep. Cool. I've also done 10, as well as our top 5 surprises and top 5 disappointments, where there can be no cross-pollination between the lists.
Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Of course you can.
Because I'm a fucking misery, and I think last year was a dire year for cinema. I have 10 disappointments.
Fucking hell, Bex.
Oh, wow.
And that's narrowed down.
I will say my 10, I think there's a fair few of them that in most years would not be in there. Good movies. Good movies, but I'm kind of with you there, dude. Whether it was an effect. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I've got a 20 as I always do, and I'll do my 20 to 11. Yeah, nice. But I'm kind of with you there, and I think maybe the strikes had an effect. There was a bit of a hangover from that. But I don't know. What's your perspective on that, Mark?
Oh, Mark's like a fucking Labrador with his head out the window, isn't he? He just fucking loves it.
That's a good point.
I genuinely never think this. It's a weirdly perfect description. I quite like that when it comes to this.
Labrador with his head out the window. Yeah, perfect.
The thing is, my
Those
disappointment.
stupid grinning dogs you see on a motorway.
Not a single one of them. I've given less than like a 3 out of 10. A 3 out of 5.
You're ridiculous.
There's probably like a couple of films that I will end up watching again on my bottom 10. And
Oh, for fuck's sake, Mark.
yeah.
I have to live with this, Ian.
Yeah.
I never actually think it's that bad a year for film because of 2 reasons. 1, there's loads of films, right? And 2, even if that particular year isn't a banger year for films that are released that year, then you've always got next year, might make up for it, but you can always watch films from other years that you've not watched. So if you go on a run of going...
That's not what we're reviewing here, though, is it?
No, let me finish. If you're going to run of watching, let's say, 4 movies that have been released in 2024, let's say,
Yeah.
or in 2025, we're going to run where we watch 4 movies and we're like, fuck, none of them were very good. Then, just in my brain, I'll go, do you know what? I'll just watch something from 1983 that I haven't fucking seen before, and that'll just fucking kick it into gear again.
I'll just watch something with ugly Willem Dafoe in it.
Yeah.
That's like your thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, bless you, Mark. That is the sunny side up argument, but it's also not that year's films. Just in relative terms, I would say this is the weakest year since 2020 for me. But we'll get into it. I don't want to be, it just like to kind of back Becky up because I feel like a lot of the time I don't back Becky up, so I like to make a meal of it when I do.
Do you just feel sorry for me because I sound like a crone?
No. Bless you. Honestly, guys, I think that Bex is being such a fucking trooper, fucking recorded tonight. I think in relative terms, it's been a poor year, but we'll get into it. But we also have reviews. We have The Brutalist, which, in the spirit of years ago, when we did a top 10 where we kind of like reviewed 4 films, and kind of did the review as one of us introduced it into the 10.
Yeah.
I would like to do that with the Brutalist.
Oh, yeah, I'm down with that.
So that will be interesting.
Yeah.
And that we're also,
was that like...
Oh, go on.
Was that Moonlight, La La Land, The
Yeah.
Silence, and something else, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
Watched
exactly
both
the
films in
year
a
I was
week.
thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like a really, really weirdly stacked particular week before we recorded. That was exactly the one I was referring to. But we're going to warm up as well. We're going to talk some Flight Risk. Just to kind of like tickle the balls.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch this particular Mark Wahlberg joint. Soz. I apologise.
Well, I mean, you should.
Should I?
I mean, spoiler alert for Flight Risk. I had fun with it, so
Fair.
I thought it was a good time. So we are a Pod Syndicate podcast. I know what we've been watching this week, obviously, because like the lists. We are a Pod Syndicate podcast, so please do listen to like-minded shows such as Chinstroker vs. Punter, The Rewatch Project, The Good, the Bad, The Odd, and others.
But very, very, very quickly, just on
Yes.
even though we aren't doing what we've been watching, but just so I can get it out there now and not have to wait a week, right?
Right.
Me and Becky have watched a TV show, haven't we? Now you hooked me in with this, didn't you?
Yeah, with Sydney Sweeney's tits.
With Sydney Sweeney and Alexander Daddario were the I
actually know it's-
no, wait, if you're using the Vince McMahon meme, it went Connie Britton got me like going, all right. Sydney Sweeney got me going, okay. Alexander Daddario got me going, fucking yeah. And then head explosion was Fred's in it as well.
Fred's in it.
White Lotus.
Watched White Lotus. Have you watched it?
We watched like 1 or 2 episodes, and like it didn't quite take. But I want to go back to it because everybody loves it, and the 3rd season's coming out soon.
Don't.
Oh, don't.
Don't. I've just watched. We just watched the 1st season, didn't we? Over like a week and a bit, haven't we? Because it's only 6 episodes.
Right. Okay. So you watched the entire 1st season and no, yeah.
Yeah. Just like no. It's just like it's a big. It finishes and you go.
Was that it?
Was that it?
Yeah, and this is like from me. I like TV.
Yeah.
The thing is, neither of us particularly hated our time with it.
No, I didn't have the time with it.
But I genuinely no.
But genuinely, I
recommend
know I
it.
say this a lot, but with the amount of filler that was in that, and the amount of just shots of wave crashing up against rocks, you genuinely could have taken that 6 hours and condensed it down to a 2-hour movie with ease.
Oh god, yeah.
That could have been a movie.
I mean, if what you want from your TV is to kill time, it's perfect.
Oh yeah, good time killer. Didn't not enjoy. Like I was bored for an entire section of it.
I think, Ian, given the way that you are about things, you will get to the end of watching that and go, think of the amount of fucking films I could have watched in that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
All right.
just, I don't... It's not that I don't get why people liked it. My feeling is, if this is, like, award-winning TV now,
Yeah.
if something like Twin Peaks came out now and nobody had ever... This is the first time it would exist, it would still revolutionise and break TV and create a new bit.
Though. I don't think people would dig it now.
I think
Modern TV audience.
I think they would. I think it'd just blow people's minds. Oh, and Jennifer Coolidge is absolute bobbins. Don't get it. Don't get it.
I can't say. I don't think you can say the entire woman is absolute bobbins.
I have decided I am going to.
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Anyway, sorry, I just had to get out. We literally finished it today.
Just very quickly, I just on a TV point, I will say that in less than 2 weeks, Donna and I have watched season 1 and all but 2 episodes of season 2 of Silo.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Rebecca Ferguson one.
Yeah,
How is that?
it's really very compulsive watching. Bex, I think you would dig it.
I think you'll dig it as well, actually, Bex.
And Mark, I mean, it's like sweaty Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah, Bexy Fergs. Like, I don't get why you're not on board with this, but we've got Twin Peaks to do next, so no ideas. No
I think we've got
ideas.
season 2 of fucking White Lotus apparently to watch.
No, and 3.
What?
And 3, that's how soon.
Yeah. Sorry,
So-
guys. I just had to interject with that before we take a flight.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, Silo, good. Also, if you've not seen the very new the new trailer for Sinners that literally came out in the last couple of hours, try not to.
Ooh, I want them.
Honestly, there's something in there where it's like that feels like a major plot point. A major plot point.
There's a little bit too much of that trailers at the moment.
Yeah, there is.
Honestly, it's like they didn't have the confidence in their ability for the trailer to sell the film. You know, and so they had to put something in there. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. So, unfortunately, it'll probably be the main trailer that will like be in cinemas for the next couple of months for it now. But yeah. Anyway, I won't say anything more. It's going to be great. It's going to be great, and I thought it was a really good trailer until that point. Anyway,
Do you want to know what I've been watching?
What?
Ian, how old are you?
40.
Oh, okay, so you'll remember My So-Called Life then, yeah? The
Oh, yeah.
1,000 Bob haircuts.
Yeah. Was it Claire Danes and Jared Leto?
Yeah, John Catalano. Thank you.
Sure.
That. I've been revisiting my youth. It's fucking mint. Do you know what? No My So-Called Life, no Euphoria, no Skins. Like, I reckon it was a game changer.
Yep.
It's ace.
Nice. Glad to hear that. Good.
I also
I think
bring it
I-
on
I s-
today as well. That's a strange film that wouldn't fly now. Everyone's called fags in it a lot.
What film?
Bring it on. There's a lot of gay slurs in that movie.
Is that the...
Kirsten Dunst.
yeah, it does not
Eliza
surprise me.
Dushku. Yeah.
Ugh, formative watching for Ian Loring there. Okay. Let's take a flight. Let's get warmed up. Flight Risk is directed by Mel Gibson. Horrible person. To be clear, I do not condone, and I believe Mark does not condone, a lot of the stuff that Mel Gibson has done and stands for.
I would say I don't condone 98% of it, with the exception of the Mad Max movies, the Lethal Weapon movies, the first couple, and maybe Ransom.
Yeah, there we are. Stars Michelle Dockery, Mark Wahlberg, and Topher Grace. IMDb says a pilot transports an air marshal accompanying a fugitive to trial. As they cross the Alaskan wilderness, tensions soar and trust is tested, as not everyone on board is who they seem. Sure. I mean, the trailer... Yeah. I mean, it becomes apparent very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mark Wahlberg's a wrong'un.
Yep.
And he's putting on that accent.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah, it seems very inconsistent, actually, now I think about it. Right, Flight Risk. I attended this at 1 o'clock this afternoon in what was a pretty well-attended showing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was weird. It might have been about a third full.
That is pretty busy for a fucking Tuesday morning.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like Meerkat movies or whatever, like perhaps. A guy behind me was having the time of his life with this film. He was laughing his arse off at a lot of it. And, and I think the film wants you to. Mark, I'm going to start this by saying... just asking, what did you think of the pre-cut to title moment where Michelle Dockery appears to instruct a couple of local law enforcement officers to help Topher Grace take a shit?
Yeah. It's just... It's the thing is with that. It's such an oddity because he says he needs to go to the bathroom because literally these guys have just made him nearly shit himself. Then goes to the bathroom, lifts up the toilet seat, and then says, you better close the door, otherwise you might have to be the one that, is on wipe duty. And then she, turns around as a zoom close-up, she's like, one of you, come here. I've got a job for you. It's like, gee.
And then it just cuts to flight risk.
And the thing is, when you look at it there, you're going, right, so that's the tone of this movie then.
Honestly, it felt like Mel Gibson just kind of like, look, I'm gonna do this, but I am gonna take the piss. I'm gonna have Mark Wahlberg threaten to rape Topher Grace 7 or 8 times in the space of 2 minutes,
but not even like in a threatening way, in a jokey, look, one of you is getting fucked, and it might be you, Topher. And then accuses him of wanting him to do it quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
It's an oddly horny movie.
Yes. Yeah. I like the way that it's kind of like the explanation for why he doesn't just kill them immediately. It's just like, I'm having some fun.
Yeah.
That's the thing about this Wahlberg performance. Sorry, I know we're just kind of getting into it, but he is really in the pocket. He's really committed.
Yep.
And the fact that his character just thinks everything's really amusing, it makes it way more memorable than this film really should be.
Yeah, because literally he's just he never gets actually genuinely angry in it. Everything he's doing is for a laugh. He is all about the lols.
Just waking up after he's been tasered and just being like, hey, that taser really packs a punch, huh?
Yeah. And then even after he gets, after he gets shot with the flare, somebody's like, why didn't you kill me? That was a bit weird, that flare. And it's just, but even to the point of where he's wearing a baseball cap to start off with. And I'm looking at it going, hang on a minute, he's got hair. And then when his baseball cap comes off and it lands in Topher Grace, what is it? There's a wig in it. And there's a part of me that goes, God, I hope that he wore that hat with the wig in it for the first few bits of shooting, and then the day that they had to film that scene, he shaved his head, put the wig with the cap in it, and then they were all like, what the shit is going on with his hair? Because it's never explained. There's no reason for it.
No. That's the brilliant thing about it. It's just never referenced again.
Nope. And it's so weird. And he just spends genuinely, Mark Wahlberg is probably conscious for what would you say 35-40% of the movie.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. Of that 35-40% of it, around about 15% is before you realise that he's a wrong un. But before they realise, which is really quite early into the movie.
Yeah.
And then the other 20% of the time is him laughing and talking about how they're having a great time, or a small percentage of it is him telling Michelle Dockery that she will succumb to his advances at some point and she'll enjoy it, and the other bit is him joking about raping Topher Grace.
And then in the end he has a brilliant death. It's a film of very simple pleasures, and God knows what attracted Mel Gibson to it. And I'm assuming Mark Wahlberg went on board when Mel Gibson was attached to it, or vice versa. Something, But it feels like Mel Gibson just kind of stretching his muscles before he does his Passion of the Christ sequel.
Yeah, it does. It feels like him twatting about a little bit with some new tech.
Yeah.
There's a bit early on with a moose. Where you're
right,
like,
so
that looks like shit.
that moose was. It feels like that moose was rendered at 8 frames a second.
Yeah, it does.
And it was like, I've seen people online going like, oh, AI moose and an AI motel. And just a very quick tangent. I fucking need people to stop calling everything AI. It's just shit CG.
Yeah, it's just CG. That's just shit CG. Shit. It's like when you hear clunky scripts sometimes in something, you go, oh, and now the thing there is to go, oh, an AI wrote this, clearly. It's like, no, there've been shit clunky scripts for literally about 70 years. Let's not just blame everything on AI.
Yeah, no, quite. But yeah, awful. You know, a lot of this would have just been filmed on a set.
Yeah.
You got the CG runway stuff at the end, and then they might have done a couple of nights shooting out externally for like the last couple of minutes. You know, a day or two shooting in that set for the pre-titles, and then a day outside. Actually, no, I don't think that you even ever see Michelle Dockery outside the airplane before she gets in the airplane, thinking about it. But
no.
So this, I mean, it was a low budget film. It was only like $25 million. And it will make money. And you know, the casting's interesting as well, because obviously you got Mark Wahlberg, who's mates with Mel Gibson, and probably just isn't charging an awful lot. It was good to see Mark Wahlberg in a theatrically released film, to be honest.
Yeah, he's done a lot of like streaming stuff.
A lot of streaming stuff. And then Michelle Dockery's recognisable, you know, but not a huge name. And then Topher Grace, again, it kind of feels like he was just in this for a bit of a project of, can I actually be the most annoying person alive?
Yeah. And he's
like
he's good. I mean, Topher Grace is a better actor than I think Topher Grace ever gets given credit for. And even that, I think that Topher Grace thinks he is. I think Topher Grace is one of his problems is no matter what he does, sort of like what hair he has or physical appearance or anything like that he changes, he will always look like Topher Grace. There's nothing you can do to stop him from just looking exactly the same. You could have him with really long hair and a big old beard and you'd still go, well, he's just Topher Grace. Your brain reassembles him as Topher Grace automatically.
We were talking about this in the car the other day, that weren't we? Like, the greatest trick that Topher Grace has pulled is making himself be like not that kid from that 70s show, but like this real weird, mysterious, enigmatic guy that just pops up every once in a while, like once in a fucking blue moon, kills it in a film, and then just disappears again for a while.
Yeah, and he is very good in this. He's basically the comic relief in a film that has a lot of comic relief in it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, and Michelle Dockery's decent. You know, she's not flashy in the slightest. You know, like just decently done. She's got a good little bit of backstory and kind of like a shit she has to try and get through from her past. You know, there's twists and turns and stuff like that. You see kind of like coming a mile off. But it's dependable meat and potato stuff, which is elevated by Mark Wahlberg just being fucking weird.
Yeah, really fucking weird.
Like when he starts singing Blue Monday at them.
Yeah, when that happens and it's like it goes, what is it? And the blue. I was like, is that Blue Monday? And then he just starts singing it later on, and it's, where did that come from?
Oh, I really, really liked, I think I've forgotten the actual line, but when they almost hit that mountain, and he's just like, no, you got space. Like they're trying to fucking park in a supermarket.
Yeah, you'll clear that, no problem.
Yeah.
And then when they don't and he hits it, he's just in the back laughing.
And he's just like, what a ride, huh? Look, you know, considering like, you know, a lot of the sniffiness about it, and you know, just disconnecting the Mel Gibson personal life of it, it's a 7 out of 10 actioner.
Yeah, it is. That's it. It's fun. it's a massive Thursday night movie. You know, you're not quite at the weekend, but you're fucking nearly there. It's Thursday night, you're in Friday, but you're off the weekend, so you want to get something that's just going to mellow you out, so you can just kind of slide through Friday and get it the weekend. Flight fucking Risk.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely not shit. I was actually quite surprised by it.
Yep, definitely not shit. Our audience poll. Let's have a look, see if we're the only people that thought that this wasn't shit. Definitely not shit. It's touching cloth 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could kind of see that. Yeah. And also, Mel Gibson is a dickhead. There we are.
Yeah.
So, right, review of the year.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
Bex, have you got a 20 or a 10?
For the best and worst, 10s.
Okay, cool. No worries. Okay, so Mark, why don't you hit us with your 20 to 11 and then your 10?
Right, there we go. My 20 to 11. 20, Maxine. 19, A Complete Unknown. 18, Speak No Evil. 17, Twisters. 16, Dune 2. 15, Immaculate. 14, Trap. 13, Furiosa. 12, Strange Darling. And I'm going to move slightly away from my wife at the moment. And 11, Transformers 1. Just to point it out, I am, although we can't do repeats in our 10s and bottoms and bits like that, I have got some repeats in my 20 to 11s.
I also have a repeat in my 20 to 11 as well, so yes, that also applies.
Do you want to go for your 20 to 11s to start off with?
Sure, fuck it, yeah, why not? My number 20 is Strange Darling. My number 19 is The Fall Guy. My 18 is It's What's Inside. 17, The Order. 16, Twisters, which is interesting, so I think that was your 17 you just said.
Yeah.
15, A Quiet Place Day 1. 14, Conclave. 13, A Complete Unknown. Higher up my one than your one, Mark. That's taken me by surprise a bit, actually.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Stayed with me, A Complete Unknown. 12, Smile 2. And 11, The Wild Robot.
Fair.
So, do you know what? Fuck it, actually. We've just spoken a little bit. Bex, your number 10.
My number 10 is Conclave. Do you know what? I was, possibly because my expectations for it were so low, but then it would have gone into prizes. But, like, I just really enjoyed it. It was like, it's like a Sunset Beach fucking Vatican City movie. It's just really gossipy, bitchy shit, and I loved it. So.
It is just that perfect kind of, the perfect version of the kind of trashy airport novel.
They're just
on
such
screen.
Mean Girls, aren't they?
Great stuff.
Loved it.
Good. Okay, Beck's number 10 is Conclave. Mark, your number 10.
My number 10 is Smile 2. It's just really, really good. It takes the original conceit from the first one and it uses it really well, but doesn't feel hindered by it. It feels like it's gone, right, let's take this, let's not just repeat it, but let's go in a completely different angle with it. Take the budget that we've got and go, right, we can do some fun fucking shit with this. And it feels almost like perfectly formed. Like Parker Finn has gone, I know what I want to do with Smile 2, but I can't do that with the budget I have on Smile that I'm going to have for Smile 1. So what I'm going to fucking do is I'm going to make this really good so I can do this. And then if that makes money, holy shit, I might get even more money to do the next one. And I'm going to go big. And I don't think anybody out there would have said that Smile 2 would have been as good as it was, based on Smile, which I think was quite popular. But it is that good. And, yeah, Naomi Scott, because horror isn't really appreciated by awards categories unless it is Bunny Ace Drink if you're playing Bastard's Bingo, unless it's considered elevated horror. Because Naomi Scott is incredible in this movie.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
So that was my number 2. My number 10. Sorry.
It's that escalation from Smile, you know, and even from the opening, that kind of like the one shot thing where you've got Kyle Gallner from the first one, in it, and like just this is what I can do, and it's just got real standout bravura kind of set pieces in it, and even though I mean like the end of Smile 2, I guessed it when we were talking about the fucking trailer. It's still super, super satisfying.
Yeah, it still nails it. Even though you kind of go, I know that this is coming, it still lands really nicely.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, that's great. Good. Smile 2 is Mark's number 10. My number 10 is Nosferatu. A film which has stayed with me, again, actually, like a complete unknown. Comes out on digital to buy next week. And I'm looking forward to having another crack at it.
Sorry.
The image, no worries, dude. The imagery of it, and the production design, and just the craft, along with the slurpiness, like that, it's got something about it as Nosferatu, and yeah, it's. I was thinking about it, and it kind of like started going up my order as I was doing it. I'm really, really happy to have Nosferatu there, because when I came out of the cinema, and I think I might have actually said when we reviewed it, it's not going to be top 10. It's squeaked in there, but yeah, I like it, and I think it's going to grow on rewatch actually. So there you go.
I could definitely see it growing on rewatch.
Yeah.
Have you seen
okay.
the shit about who is it I directed it?
Robert Eggers
Gave Nicholas Hoult Orlok's prosthetic penis in a frame as a gift.
I did, yeah.
As a wrap gift.
Yeah.
Love that. And it came in the post and the frame was broken, so he had to take it and get it repaired.
I bet Nicholas Hoult just found that funny though.
He did.
Yeah. I bet Nicholas Hoult took it in the framers and gave no reference for why it was
He
there.
didn't explain it until afterwards.
That's fucking funny.
I bet that guy's a fun drink.
Yeah, 100%.
Bloody right.
I bet. Do you know what? Actually, I bet it's a really good fucking road trip. It's like a really good car journey.
He's had a bit of a year this year as well.
He's had a bit of a bang of year, yeah. I bet it's a great car journey.
Defo. Yeah.
Nice. No. Bex, your number 9.
Oh, my number 9 is Nosferatu.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, very similar stuff. I think the tonally, like, I think it feels odd until like you just roll with it, and because it does feel very sort of melodrama-y, but it's meant to, and I think it's the Nosferatu kind of story is actually better than the Dracula story that we've seen on screen. Not necessarily the book, but it's better than the Dracula that we've been given in movies, and it's just a really good remake of that and adaptation of slightly changed adaptation of the source material, and yeah, everyone's just really fucking good in it. I should have mentioned actually before I started my top 10, I do have an honourable mention of a film that didn't make it into my top 10, but it is because it's a film of two halves. So I would like a honourable top 10 mention for the first half of Heretic.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
But not the second half.
No, I can see that.
Sorry, that was my number 9.
No, that's great. Nice one. Mark, your number 9.
Roadhouse.
Only number 9.
I'm surprised.
I did contemplate putting it higher, but I felt like I would just be kind of trolling the world a little bit. And what?
No.
So I didn't put it. Why is it higher on yours? Is it?
Maybe.
I really hope it is.
Oh, good stuff.
It's really fucking fun.
It is.
Don't care what people say. All the people that have been snippy about it. Do you know what? It wasn't made for you. I'm sure you all really thought that White Lotus was great.
Stop being a dick.
What's your number 90?
My number 9 is Jeremy Saulnier's Rebel Ridge. Just a real good fucking full meal of a film. But like a high-end burger.
Yeah.
You know, like it's got something to say, but it's also genre as fuck. And I'm just really glad because this had like been, you know, Netflix had had this on the shelf for a bit, and it was like, right, what's up with Rebel Ridge? And it comes out, everybody likes it, and it's like one of the most viewed films on Netflix over the last year.
Yeah.
Jeremy Saulnier's, you know, will basically have the budget to make another film for him if he so chooses, I'm sure. You know, Aaron Pierre, absolute fucking movie star.
Yeah.
Like brilliant performance. And yeah, you know, it's as close to a modern day First Blood as you could get.
Yeah, it really is.
And I was just very, very impressed by it. And especially when, you know, like I say, it had been held back for a while. Hold the Dark wasn't great. And this was just a very, very good time. So, yeah, Rebel Ridge. Yeah, like I say, it's got things on its mind, but it's not Sledgehammer to Smash a Walnut, which can be good, can be bad. Its key thing is it wants to be a thriller, and it really works. So yeah, I was very pleased to have Rebel Ridge on here, actually. That's my number 9. Let's do 8s, and then we'll get into disappointments first. So, Bex, your number 8.
So my number 8 is Roadhouse.
Way!
Nice.
Yeah, just really fucking good fun. Really, there's some really good flair in the script that's going on that just like some real standout fucking moments.
Genuinely, I genuinely mean this, and I know that all our listeners and you guys will appreciate that. I actually genuinely mean this. One of my favourite comedy moments in all of cinema is we've got our own Octagon here.
Who taught you
Who
shapes?
taught you shapes? It's just genuinely, if there is one good reason globally why that was a good idea that went to streaming rather than to cinema, is I would have had to have literally left the cinema, continued to laugh in the foyer whilst paying for my tickets to go and see the next showing because I was laughing that much at that when we watched it here.
I've watched this film 4 times.
Yeah, so have I.
That is enough for it to be on my top 10 list.
Yep.
It's fun, it's escapism, it's fucking dumb, and I love it for it.
I love the fact that it literally, he gets like he goes into the douchebag blue guy from Nice Guys. Just threatens him by saying, the problem is you've pissed me off, and now I'm pissed off, this is going to happen, and just kills him. That one's just like, well, that's just murder.
That's straight up murder.
That one's just murder.
Yeah. Yes, that's my number 8.
What a film. What a picture.
Beautiful.
Fuck it, should be my number 1. It might be. I might change my mind. I might say it twice.
No repeats.
Fuck you.
Unfortunately, it's not coming up again.
Coward.
Roadhouse. Nearly made my surprises, but Roadhouse, we bid you a fond farewell. I liked you too. Mark, your number 8.
Snack Shack. A movie that...
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Very much took me by surprise. Watched it because A, it's called Snack Shack, and B, it looked like, yeah, that's my kind of movie, a early 90s coming of age film. Yeah, that's set mostly around a pool in summer. What's not to fucking love about that? And I think I've said it before on the podcast, I'll repeat myself a little bit, but the first sort of 10 minutes I was going, I might have made a mistake. This is insufferable. And then it started to get into, I was going, oh, this is alright. And then I was getting more into it going, this is really good. And then when it gets to like the sort of like end 20 minutes, like, oh, this is really fucking good. This has come out of nowhere. And it's a little bit like, in a year where I watched the 4:30 movie, which is the latest Kevin Smith movie, and I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. I'm almost looking at this going, Kevin Smith will have watched this movie at some point this year because it's also his kind of vibe. There must be a little bit in the back of his mind going, that's the kind of shit I should be making now, not the shit that I'm making where I have to cast like my daughter and her mates in it. Yeah. And and it has to be stuff that I can kind of like later on I can reference on one of my podcasts. I can pull out that and that and that and that. And it's just like it's just good coming of age filmmaking that we don't seem to think we have anymore. And yet every year there is one little bit of gold like this. Or last year, maybe the year before, we had the Are You There, God It's Me, Margaret. There are these good, really good kind of films that hopefully sort of hit people of a younger age than what we are. As this is great. This connects with me a little bit.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is just about friendship. It's just about two mates, and they might have an argument, but then the one time when they need each other, it's just the girl becomes unimportant. The girl's there and try to comfort. He's like, I don't need you to comfort me now. I just need my mate. And he just fucking bolts and runs off. And you're watching it going, this is fucking heartbreaking. If you'd have told me that I would be like going, this is heartbreaking 90 minutes ago, I'd have been like, nah. Great film.
2 ticks, guys. iPad. Yeah, it should be downstairs.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, I haven't brought it up here. Yeah, it should be downstairs somewhere. Right. Sorry. My number 8 is R. Kasha Stevenson's The First Omen. A film which really surprised the shit out of me, quite frankly. It's so much more interesting than a prequel to The Omen should be. The last time that Hollywood tried to do an Omen film, it was literally just a remake so close to the original that in arbitration they just the WGA awarded the writing credit to the guy who wrote the original film. And they just wanted it because it was going to come out on Tuesday, the June the 6th, 2006. The First Omen, Arkasha Stevenson is making an effort here with a film that's got Italian supernatural horror and giallo on its mind, while also paying tribute to possession, in the one scene late on. Yes, the ending where it almost seems to be teeing up I want to talk to you about the Omen initiative kind of thing at the end of it, but that being that as it is, I think the rest of it, Stevenson has got a directorial vision, and Nell Tiger Free, I think her name is, the lead actress, is ace in this. I just thought it was a really interesting, scary, odd bit of work, which for me was one of the horror films of the year, and I was really sad about how it just kind of died a death at the box office. It's just I found it a really compelling, interesting horror film, and I hope more people give it time.
Just as a slight exit, because this happens every year at some point, I had that within my list to be within my top 10, and then for some reason forgot it. So it actually would have been my number 10, that.
Fair.
And it would have dropped everything else down. I agree. I think it was such a surprise. It was quite early on in the year as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
And I remember it being such a surprise going to see it and going, "It's really good. Like, it's really good." And it has like a lot of modern horror films have. It has that nod to possession, but it does it in a way that goes, "Oh, all right, fair enough, but this is your own thing." But fucking hell, go on then. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, for sure. Nice one. Okay, let's break from the tops and get into some disappointments. So, Bex, do you want to run through your 5 through 1 disappointments?
Do you want me to run through my 10 through 5?
Oh, you got top 10 disappointments.
Yeah, it's been a real disappointing year.
Oh, sorry, you did say earlier on. My apologies. Please proceed.
Okay, so some of these are not necessarily bad films,
Oh no!
but just ones that I'm really fucking annoyed at.
You just gave me a look and then moved away from me slightly.
No. So my bottom 5 of top disappointments. Yeah.
Then give you bottom 10.
Your 10 through 6.
Yeah, my 10 through 6. Yeah. So Watchers is in there. That looked like a really fucking interesting premise. Fucking wasn't. Love Lies Bleeding. Not a bad film. Not anywhere near as good as the trailers made it out to be. Civil War looked like it was going to actually be quite interesting and exciting, and it was just a boring film. Sorry, I'm just tempering my language. In a Violent Nature, again, looked like it would be a really interesting premise, a POV film from the killer's POV. What a boring bag of shit this was. Just fucking plodding around. And Abigail. How do you make a film about a fucking vampire ballerina boring?
That's a good call.
This film is a masterclass in that. Yeah.
Right.
And go ahead and do your 5 through 1s as well. Go on. Okay,
so Borderlands was really disappointing. That looked really like it was going to be interesting from the trailer. We've had a few good TV and movie game adaptations recently, and this shot that trend in the fucking face because it's crap. Just really, really, really crap. Challengers and sizzling erotic thriller. No.
The word from the people online who were just very, very horny around its release really did a number on that film, I think.
Yeah.
But again, like even if you take out the raised expectation factor, it's not fucking great as a standalone. Even if you're not expecting much from it, it ain't great. It's just fucking boring.
Long.
Tennis is boring. You make a movie about tennis.
The thing is, boring sports are usually easier to make movies about because you can create drama with them. It's why there's never been a good football movie. Because I'm not saying all football is all interesting. A lot of it's not. I've watched a lot of it. But the drama can be written within football. Whereas a lot of the time within a lot of sports, it can't. It just kind of... things happen. You know, it's why within tennis, basically the same 3 or 4 people for the past 15 years have won pretty much every major honour.
Yeah. Yeah, it wrote a check its ass couldn't cash. Did Challengers. Maxine was... And I don't know why. The thing is, the preceding 2 movies of this trilogy, I found them both really disappointing. They looked infinitely better than they actually ended up being. I enjoyed them both fine, but not anywhere near as much as I thought I was going to. And then this one looked like it was going to be really fucking good. And it just isn't. It just isn't. Long Legs.
Like number 1?
Is my number 2.
2.
Can you not guess my number 1?
No.
Can you, Ian?
No.
My number one disappointment of the year is Terrifier 3.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
That's fair.
Fuck that glossy Hollywood sheen. It's lost its way.
Is that?
Yeah. And I'm sad for it.
Let's see what happens with Terrifier 4. Well, I say let's see. I won't be fucking seeing it. Christ. Okay. Good stuff. Well, not good stuff.
No bad stuff.
Mark.
Number 5, my 5th most disappointing movie. A Real Pain. It's a good movie. But that's it. It's just a good movie. It's an entertaining Wednesday afternoon of a movie. And that's about it. There's no... it's... Kieran Culkin is good in it. There's no getting away from it. He's good in it. But you could pick another number of actors at around that age to play that role and they play it exactly the same. There's nothing that... What is it? The more it's kind of sat on me, the more I feel a little bit like Jesse Eisenberg has managed to stealth write a film where he's the star of it, but everybody thinks that this other guy's the star of it. And it's just a little bit like, yeah, nah. It sounds a lot like white person problems. And then the next one is Saturday Night. If you'd have told me that I should be pumped for a Jason Reitman written and directed movie about Saturday Night, I'd have been like, I don't give a shit. But then the trailer came out, and it was really good. And then the film was just nowhere near as good as the trailer. So, yeah, just a real kind of wet fart of a movie, really, to be honest on that one.
I'm just gonna say, not in my bottom 10.
Really? About the only good thing that I can take from that is it got me into John Batiste's music, and I've been really quite enjoying that.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah. Number 3, Long Legs. We spoke about it a bit last week, I think, on the show, didn't we, Ian? But just, I don't get it. I don't get it. It just didn't. It zoomed by me and I went, I don't get it. That's all I'm going to say about it. I just don't get it. Challengers, maintain. Challengers is sexy and erotic for people who think that that Doggy is kinky. It's
You've said that before and it still makes me laugh. Sorry.
It's just, I mean, it's 2.5 hours long, and just not a lot actually happens. Everybody in it is actually quite good, I think. But then I've seen some things with Josh O'Connor afterwards, and I'm kind of like, is that just him though? And it makes me worried because he's now kind of coming out as a bit of a front runner for Bond. And just, that's not Bond. That's not Bond.
Boring choice.
Pardon?
It'd be such a boring choice.
It's just, he looks a little bit like a child made his face out of Play-Doh and it came to life.
It's like Mescal in Gladiator 2. It's just like, just because he's the hot young boy of the moment, like, if he's not right for the role, he's not right for the fucking role.
Yeah. And my number 1 disappointment, Horizon, an American Saga. If you want to get back at the guy who you fell out with about a TV show, then make a TV show. Don't try and make 2 movies and make them as long as a mini-series. It's just not that. It should be really good. It's Kevin Costner making an American Saga out of the Old West, and then it's just a little bit like you watch it going, there's too much going on. You're setting up the next one. You're celebrating the success of this one before it's even happened, and you're insisting that you, a guy who is touching 70, would be banging a hot 30-year-old who would just find you irresistible.
It's the old West, Mark. Things happened.
Yeah, he'd probably be dead. Yeah, I mean, now there is an actual proper premiere date for Horizon and American Saga Chapter 2, which clocks in at 9 minutes longer than the first one.
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe that will help redeem it, and we'll go from there. But yeah, there's no set date for Chapter 3 or Chapter 4 apparently now.
Yeah.
Ian, what are yours?
Yeah, that was a real... I do kind of feel bad for Kevin Costner, though, because, yeah, it should have been a mini-series, but I respect the fact that he was like, no,
Yeah.
I want to make movies, you know, and it just... But, I don't know, don't shoot it in flat either. Like, do it in fucking scope.
Yeah, do it. Why the West is made to be shot in scope?
Yeah, it's so weird. But,
he's cinematic as well. He knows this shit. It's almost like he's done it... He's done it to kind of throw a little bit of a... You know, to throw you a little bit off guard. It's like, no, just shoot it in fucking scope. That is how we remember the Old West is in scope.
So I really liked Horizon, but it would have worked better as a series.
It would, and it would have done better as well.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, Horizon came out on, I think, Netflix in the US, and it was like #1 for a while. There's an audience, but unfortunately, the audience is at home.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there we are.
What are yours?
Okay. My number 5 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is an absolutely okay film.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It is not fucking touching the Caesar trilogy at all. And I didn't really get a sense that there was a real vision behind it, to be honest. We'll see if a second one comes out. It seems like it made enough money, but you know, it'll be interesting to see what Disney do there. My number 4 is We Live in Time.
Yeah, that was nearly in mine.
It just, you know, you got Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh together. They should have chemistry. I think they've got sexual chemistry, but they're also characters who don't really seem to like each other. And it's just got this weird, like, a mum who's dying of cancer must be a mum first message to the end of it, which, yeah, I honestly, that moment when she walks off that cooking competition, the fact there's a cooking competition in the first place is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm going to go spend time with my family. It's not like she's dying in the next half hour, guys.
Yeah.
Like, let her have her fucking moment. And it just odd message with that film. So yeah, that's my number 4. My number 3 is Blitz. Steve McQueen doing a World War II film, and he's turned it into apparently he hates it being described as this, but Dickensian fable of a boy getting into scrapes on the way home to his mum. Just what?
Yeah.
No.
You've made a high budget ITV drama.
Yeah. He's Steve fucking McQueen.
Sir Steve McQueen.
Sir Steve McQueen. He directed Hunger. He directed Shame. He directed 12 Years a Slave.
And he won an Academy Award, and has since then just not really hit the mark.
Hey, look, Small Axe. Some good shit in there, you know, but and I mean Widows as well, man. Widows is a
good,
banger.
yeah. Yeah, actually, Widows is good.
You know, so it feels like a wrong director for the subject matter, if I'm being honest.
It's just it's wild that in 5 years he'd Hunger, Shame, and 12 Years a Slave, and in the 12 years since he's done Widows and Blitz.
Yeah, and I mean he did his like 5-hour long fucking Occupied City, as you know, like it just we didn't need a Steve McQueen World War II film. There you go. My number 2 is Long Legs. So that's completing the trifecta there. I talked about it last week. I won't talk about it anymore. And I also talked about this last week. Sorry, Bex. My number 1 disappointment of the year is Furiosa. I'm not going to talk about it. I talked about it last week. And I don't want to anger Bex.
That's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, there we are. So,
I'm going to anger
we'll get back.
a lot, so it's fine.
Nice. We'll get back into it with our number 7s. Becky.
My number 7 is a recent watch, actually. The Order.
Nice.
Really, really, really liked it. Felt like a real proper grown-up movie. Really enjoying Jude Law's current career trajectory. Looks like he's looked at Hugh Grant and gone, oh, we can grow up. This is exciting. So, yeah, I thought he was really fucking good in it. Nicholas Hoult having a bit of a year. Yeah, and just really interesting subject matter. And I think it's quite nice watching movies that are pertinent to things that are going on right now, but without them being like, look what we're doing. This is relevant, guys. Relevant. Pay attention. It's just there. It's showing you what happened and letting you make your own connections. And I think that's really refreshing in films at the moment. I think too many of them think we're all fucking thick. But yeah, just really, really good. Really, really good, solid filmmaking. And it looks really good because it feels like real places.
It's shot outside.
That's wild, isn't it? So yeah, it all feels tactile. Eye tactile? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's great. Mark, your number 7.
Nosferatu.
Nice.
We've all had this now, haven't we?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Not to talk too much about because you guys spoke about it and then we spoke about it fairly recently. It's just really good. It's $50 million. Eggers is a serious director, but doesn't seem like, yet anyway. It doesn't seem like he's getting high on the smell of his own farts. It does seem like he is. He's just kind of enjoying, just kind of treading his own path a little bit with this. His next movie is about werewolves, and at the same time, he's developing a sequel to Labyrinth.
Yeah. Fair.
Go on then. Do you know what I think you should do for the sequel to Labyrinth? Cast Post Malone in it, but Post Malone is the baby from Labyrinth. But he's Post Malone.
Playing himself.
He's just Post Malone, yeah. And it turns out that the baby from Labyrinth just became Post Malone. And that's how you get the idea of linking it into what is it? But he just gets transported to fucking Labyrinth.
Linking it into what?
Like having a musician be within the movie there so you've got a bit of a link to kind of the ideas of the first one. And just do that.
Sure.
Just have it like that. Just have him literally on tour and he goes through a trapdoor or something like that as part of his fucking tour. And then instead of that...
he's in an oubliette.
He's in an oubliette or just those little fucking guys have just fucking turned it round and fucking shit like that.
Sure.
There you go. You can have that one for free, Eggers. I'm sure you've got a better idea. But keep it in mind. Nosferatu is my 7th best film of the year.
Wasn't quite expecting that monologue, but well done, mate. My number 7 of the year is Clint Eastwood's Juror number 2. Speaking of Nicholas Hoult having a year.
That's very good.
Oh, it's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
It was all pretty much the most compelled I've been watching a film this year. It just in terms of pure what's going to happen next, and the what it had to say about justice, I thought it was really interesting. There was a lot to ponder. A lot of people have been sniffy about Toni Collette and her accent. Whatever, I don't care. I thought she did a good job. thought Chris Messina was really good in it. Holt is great. Zoe Deutsch, really good as well. It felt like old school adult drama, which, to be honest, a lot's been said already online about this, but if Warner Brothers had actually given it a proper release and thought about an Oscar campaign, I think it could have done pretty well.
Yep.
Instead, they release it in like 50 screens in the US and just shit it out on HBO Max. It's, Clint Eastwood. I have a complicated history of Clint Eastwood on this podcast. I believe I said that I felt that my American Sniper was probably responsible for deaths. But fair fucking because it's like making people hoorah and want to sign up for the fucking army.
Yep.
But juror number 2, I thought he was making some really fucking interesting points. He knows how to direct actors, and I thought it was a really, really good watch. I had a great time with jury number 2. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of, I feel like in other years, the films I've spoken about so far would probably not be on my top 10. From now, I'm comfortable saying like my 6 to 1 are films I feel would be deserving of being my top 10 in most years. But hey, it is what it is. Jury number 2, great film. Warner's fucked it.
Yep.
Right, we will do 6s and then we will get into surprises. Bex, your number 6.
My number 6, I think neither of you guys have seen this, but my number 6 is a lesson in bleakness and is Platform 2.
Oh, you told me not to watch it, didn't you?
I don't think you'd like it, Ian.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. If you ever just want to wallow in some bleakity for a bit, have at it. It's fucking mint, but yeah, they're very bleak. Yeah, just really good though, and really expands on the world that's built in the first one. Really interesting shit to say about, I guess, bottle societies, like enclosed societies, and how they can be studied for trends that happen over longer periods of time out in the like wider world. Like it's just really fucking good. Really fucking good.
Still don't know if I'm gonna watch it.
Don't.
Bleak.
It is bleak. You watch some absolute shite and sit through it. If you don't want to watch this because it's bleak, then it's your loss.
That's fine. I watch my absolute shape. I have a big old smile on my face while I'm doing it.
Nice.
Fair. But yeah, really, really good. Strong recommend to anyone that's not seen it, except for Ian.
Yeah, okay. Duly noted. Mark, your number 6.
My number 6 is The Order. We spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. And it's just a very, very good film. It's just good filmmaking. And it's... Justin Kurzel is a very good filmmaker, and this is what he's doing. And he's assembled a cast of just good character actors and made a film that isn't trying to hammer its point home. It's just, this is the story. This is the story. Take it as you take it. If you're taking it like that, then you that's just because that's kind of what you're supposed to take it like. You know, you're supposed to think, yeah, this is bad. Why are you showing me this? Well, because it's bad and it happened.
Yeah.
That's why. So yeah, that's my number 6 is The Order.
Cracking. Okay. My number 6 is a film I watched yesterday as part of a Sebastian Stan double bill.
Oh, sweet. Ooh.
My number 6 is Aaron Schimberg's A Different Man.
Wow.
So, this film is fucking ace. So, Sebastian Stan plays a guy who has... Well, they refer to him as tumours in the film, but I believe the condition is neurofibromatosis, and essentially he's got a lot of makeup on. You know, this film got nominated for best makeup and hairstyling at the Oscars, and he lives a solitary life. People. And, you know, he's an aspiring actor, but basically the only thing he's done is a kind of like a HR video inducting employees about how to interact with people who look different from you. And it's this like really like pitch perfect fucking like HR induction video thing that they show in it. A new neighbour moves in next door, played by Renata Rensva from The Worst Person in the World. And he strikes up a kind of a friendship with her. And he's then offered to go through an experimental drug trial to cure him of his condition. So he goes through this, and it does. And he's then Sebastian Stan without the makeup on. Some things happen. I don't necessarily want to spoil things, but he then meets someone else with this condition who is outgoing and really charming, and actually maybe a little bit annoying in how charming he is actually, but I believe that's intentional in the film. And he basically starts to overtake Sebastian Stan's life. And this basically felt like early 90s Coens. And I've also heard a lot of people talk about Charlie Kaufman, but there's a lot of Charlie Kaufman stuff I'm not that into. So it reminded me personally of Barton Fink quite a bit.
Ah, nice.
It's Sebastian Stan is so fucking good in this. The way, like, somebody says to him later on in the film, like, it's amazing how you look like you, but you can act so uncomfortable in your own skin. And they're right. Like, the way that he just feels like this guy who has never looked like Sebastian Stan before suddenly looks like Sebastian Stan, but then is, starts off being what he thinks is happy and successful, and then as soon as this other guy comes in who is able to charm people and be the heart of the conversation and do all these amazing things, but with that disfigurement, and the way that then pushes him like to things, it's very interesting. I feel like I need to watch it again. The last 10-15 minutes go to a place where I'm not quite sure what it was trying to say, but I still really liked it. And I mean, Adam Pearson as well, who plays the other, the guy he meets, who was in Under the Skin.
Yeah.
And he's been a campaigner for years. Like, the way that he is just able to be super charming and super friendly, but if you didn't catch on to his vibe, would be the most annoying person you've ever met. It's a really, really good performance, where he's not playing it as like trying to get sympathy or anything like that. He's not at all, because he is so outgoing and gregarious. But he's like the charming dickhead. Like you could think of him as a dickhead if you just didn't get on with him. And Sebastian Stan doesn't get on with him because he's seeing this guy break through the physical barriers and still be this person. And the way that drives Sebastian Stan's character mad, it's something. There's also a fantastic cameo by someone who has a one-scene cameo later on.
I think I know this is.
Yeah, it may be. They are very good in it. So, yeah. Like, really, really interesting film. I can see, Sebastian Stan won a Golden Globe for this film a couple of weeks back, if I remember correctly. And, yeah, fair. I'll talk about The Apprentice next week in what we've been watching. But that dude is using his MCU powers for good. And I just, good on him. It's really, really fucking interesting film. Like, it's quirky without being, oh god, this is annoying quirky. It's like Barton Fink meets Beau is Afraid.
Because I'm more on board with Cohen's quirky than I am Kaufman quirky.
I really, really vibed with it. So, yeah, number 6, A Different Man. Check it out.
Nice.
Brilliant score as well, actually, I'll say. Okie dokie. Let's do our surprises. Bex.
Okay, so these are not necessarily as in order as my disappointments were because they're all just ones that surprised me. So there's not really levels.
Just leave them in a 5 order then, if it don't matter.
Okay. So the first one is probably one that shouldn't have surprised me, but given how many horror movies that I was excited for are on my disappointments list, and given recent requels, reboots, remakes of classic horror properties that have been disappointments, it's on my surprises list, and that's First Omen.
Yep.
Which really is a fucking banger in it. But like the Exorcist shit, and then obviously you've got a bit of a weird one with First Omen and Immaculate coming out so close together. You've got a bit of a Prestige, and what was the one that came out around the same time?
Oh, Illusionist?
Yeah. You've got that kind of vibe going on where two very similarly content movies came out, and yeah, this one's just the clear fucking winner.
Armageddon and Deep Impact.
The only thing the other one's got over First Omen, I guess, is Sinisween just bashing the shit out of the kid at the end in Immaculate. But yeah, this is the better movie. But yeah, really happily surprised that didn't just continue the cycle of disappointment with reboots. Blink Twice, I've also watched just recently. I think I was really excited for that when it was due to come out, and then just all of a sudden really not. And just, I don't know why, but I'd got it into my head that it was going to be shit. I don't really like Channing Tatum in stuff as a general rule. I think that was probably part of it. But yeah, I really, really quite surprised by. Have you seen this, Ian?
Blink Twice, yeah.
It's a lot darker than I anticipated.
There's that one scene where it's like, this is what was happening.
Yeah.
It's like, bloody hell.
Well, there's two, isn't there? And one's with Alia Shawkat, and then the other one's what's happening like with the rest of them. So I'm trying to stay vague so you can watch.
Sure.
The movie
Yeah.
I will watch it. When it came out, and then around about recently, I've been a little bit like, do you know what? I'm not in a space to watch billionaires being knobheads.
It's not really that. It's
but from what it
and that's why I think I was surprised, because it does give off that kind of vibe that it's gonna be a bit insufferable billionaires Glass Onion kind of vibe, and it just isn't that. Was surprised how dark it was. Surprised how it actually. There is a few bits that are a bit like, oh god, come on, get off your fucking soapbox. But I mean, there's clever ways to be on your soapbox and not make people feel like you're telling them off, and there's some points where this fails at that. but they are not throughout.
Yeah.
So yeah, Snack Shack was another surprise.
Yes.
Even though you really strongly recommended it, as our listeners are aware, you are an idiot. So even with that recommendation going into it, I was still a bit like, oh gosh, do you know what? He was right. How strange. But yeah, it's a really good, heartfelt fucking movie. It manages to be deep and fun.
Yep.
It's good, really good.
That's what we like, deep and fun.
Vibes. Milk and Cereal is another one for me, which is the little sort of indie, self-financed, YouTube available one about the pranking guys, which I really, really tried to get you guys to watch and failed. So hopefully someone that listens has watched it off of my recommendation, and if they haven't, I'm recommending it again. It's really good. It's really clever. And
if you have, let us know.
You are.
Yeah.
If people have watched it, let us know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to. It's. Do you know what? The budget on it versus the final product is kind of insane, to be honest, and it's just really good. And then my last one's Moana 2. Just really liked it.
Fair enough.
Didn't expect to. Don't even particularly love Moana.
Lottie would be pleased to hear that. She asked me where Moana 2 was in my list. I was like, it's not, kid. So.
Aww. But you can tell her it was in my surprises.
I will.
So yeah, that's me.
Mark?
So my number 5 in surprises was Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. Now, I'm not surprised that I liked this. What I am surprised at is that it was good. Like, it was good. It's a good movie. I don't feel like I have to just kind of smile at people when I say it was good and they'll go, was it there? Like, yeah, it was. It's actually a really good, solid action buddy cop movie. It's fun. Next in my number 4 was Immaculate. It's a Sydney Sweeney nun movie. You know, had the potential for that to be just a bit like, well, this is a bit, you know, you're doing things for certain people here, aren't you? But it's really good, and it's really dark, and it's really fun, and she drops a rock on a baby at the end of it.
That is really good.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Props to her for that.
Yeah.
Dead-eyed bitch.
Fucking great. Wonderful moment.
I mean, in general, she's a dead-eyed bitch.
Yeah, great, wonderful moment. Number 3, Lisa Frankenstein.
It's very nearly made my top 10, I'm not going to lie.
It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's just really fun. And I'm quite surprised at how much fun I had with it. And I would say it's the performances.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The script isn't even that great. The story isn't that great. The direction isn't even that great. But Catherine Newton is a bona fide fucking movie star. Bags of fucking charisma that is there. She does seem like she's one of those people that's like, I am the smartest person in this room, and the reason why I know that is because none of these people think I'm that smart.
Yeah. Cole Sprouse is
and Cole Sprouse is just really fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's really quite cool and brave of him to take a role where he barely fucking speaks.
Yeah. Oh, he speaks a lot with his face.
Yeah, there's a lot of good facial acting.
When I couldn't get this into my top 10, I tried to squeeze it into my surprises, and then I was like, no one's gonna fucking buy that.
That you were surprised.
But I was surprised by that being good.
No, but I was.
Because it is Becky Nip.
It is Becky Nip. My number 2 in surprises is Craig Robinson starring Hot Frosty. Which, like, genuinely, it's a surprise because it's good. Mm-hmm. It's just a really sweet movie about a guy who goes from being a slightly ripped snowman to being a ripped real boy. And he's just really nice to everybody.
Fair.
It's just a really sweet movie.
Is he a himbo?
Yeah.
Love that.
No, he's not actually. But there's a bit where he watches, like, The Exorcist, and then he's wandering around the house just with 2 bits of wood trying to make a cross because he's scared of being possessed.
That is some
It's just a really fun movie, and it's got Craig Robinson in it. And my number 1 surprise was The Trap. Trap, as it's just called, actually. Because, if you'd have told me at the start of the year that you would enjoy an M. Night Shyamalan movie that much, I would have said, no, I won't. You're an idiot. Go away, please.
That's fair, actually.
But Trap is really fun and really good.
Trap was my number 21.
Oh, no.
It's really good.
Almost. Yeah, it is. It's really fun.
Yep.
Okay.
Ian, what are yours?
My number 5, kind of in the spirit of what Becky said earlier on, actually. Kind of more the first half of Heretic, but Heretic.
That's fair.
That first half is just so fun. And the second half does let the side down, but it did take me by surprise, I gotta say. So, there it is. My number 4 is Smile 2. We talked about it earlier on. My number 3 is Hot Frosty. Not every Netflix Christmas film is shit. Hot Frosty's charming.
Fair.
Craig Robinson and Joe Latrulio doing their thing. It worked for me. So Hot Frosty. My number 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I think it fucking slaps. It's very, very fun. It's funny. Sonic and Shadow sat on the moon, just talking about their feelings. It's really good stuff. Yeah. And Jim Carrey is doing some great work in a dual role. I liked the first 2 fine. This one had something about it. So there you go, Sonic 3. I'm really looking forward to Sonic 4.
Yep.
And my number 1, fuck the haters, The Crow.
Nice. Yes.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Yes, I say that knowing that I'd been drinking all day at the Formula 1 and was pretty hyped that I managed to get a good photo of Lewis Hamilton driving past. But I had a good time. The people in the cinema with me had a good time. I saw this thing in Dolby Cinema, in a cinema in Amsterdam, and had a ball. Rupert Sanders is a good filmmaker. Fuck you, people who think he isn't. This film did exactly what it wanted to do, and that scene where he is slicing people up in the opera is the best action sequence of last year.
Yep. Yep, absolutely.
There you go. And on that note, I really like that we both had Hot Frosty on surprises.
Well, yeah, it's fun. The thing is, I will watch Hot Frosty every year now.
It'll be in the rotation for us too.
Yeah, just because it's just fun. It's going to be like a good Christmas morning movie, like not like Christmas Day morning, but like one of the days around Christmas where I'm off and I'm like, right, breakfast, and then I need to go out and do some Christmas shopping. Gonna watch Hot Frosty.
Nice.
Get me in the mood for it all. Yeah. What?
What's Hot Frosty getting you in the mood for?
Oh, Hot Frosty gets you in the mood for all sorts of things, Rebecca.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, back into it then. Bex, what is your number 5 film of the year?
So my number 5 is Dune 2, which I genuinely can't believe came out last year. It feels like ages ago. But yeah, it's not as much of a revelation as the first one, but still pretty fucking special. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Really sad that I've not managed to get to Timmy Chalamet's more recent release, because I feel like that would have probably been in my top 10, but yeah, June 2's there instead.
Cool.
Yeah, looking forward to your thoughts on A Complete Unknown, because you are going to dig it.
I'm really looking forward to watching it, to be fair. I've just not managed to get
Mark, your number 5?
My number 5 is Honora. It's
Sorry.
Honora-
My number 4 is Honora. I know I haven't done number 5 yet, but just then maybe we both talk about it now.
Yeah, it's funnier than I think I expected it to be, and I think that that very much helps it. Mikey Madison is incredibly good, and if she, I'm not saying I think she's the most deserving, but if she does win an Academy Award for it, it would be perfectly. I don't think anyone could go, oh, I'm not sure about that one. It's an incredible performance, and the fact that she seems to be the only one who seems to be kind of like almost like the straight person within it, is quite good within the framework of all the bits that go around it. I think Sean Baker has this thing of making films that kind of propel from one place to another, but the distance between the two places isn't actually that far. But he has all these things happening in between it, but it never sort of veers out of the realms of that is just possible. There's never something that you see that you go, oh, come on. Everything just kind of feels a little bit like, all right, yeah, fair enough. So it's your 4, Ian.
Yeah, there's 45 minutes in this, which I think is my favourite film of the year. The more comedic running around looking for the guy stuff, I think is so fucking good.
Yeah. It's as close to slapstick without being slapstick as you can get.
Yeah, no, for sure. But Honora herself, and Mikey Madison's wonderful. Like, she's really, really good in this. And if Demi Moore wasn't in such good, didn't have such a good chance to be winning an Oscar for The Substance, I'd be.
That's it. Mikey Madison is probably at some point going to win an Academy Award, be it for this or for something else. At some point, she is going to win an Academy Award.
That's the thing. The world's her oyster now.
Yeah,
and which is ace. Kind of is for Sean Baker too, you know. And it is by a distance the Sean Baker film I have enjoyed the most. And you know, some people have been a bit sniffy and saying, "Well, it's the most mainstream film that he's ever made," and you know, cool, but. The Florida Project, it kind of felt like misery tourism to me. So, you know.
Do you know what I think to that, though, when people say that it's the most mainstream film he's made to date? I think that's a little bit the whole Rick Rubin talking about Green Day of, no, it's not. This is just the one people started to like. Not, I don't think that's more mainstream necessarily than Red Rocket.
No. And I think you're right. It's just the fact that it's got broader comedic beats that Red Rocket also had. You know, but Sean Baker's a cinephile, but not I will only accept films that are in the Sight and Sound Top 100 cinephile. The dude loves fucking everything.
I saw him talking about. I came out a clip that was. I don't know what I'd seen it on, but it was halfway through. I think it started after I'd watched something on YouTube with him talking about something. It might have been a Letterboxd one, and then I'd gone to make myself a drink, came in, and flicked on to the next video. And he was talking about something, and I'm there watching it going, what's he talking about? And he was talking about an Emilio Estevez movie that he fucking loved. And I was like, hang on a minute, is he talking about Mighty Ducks? And he was. And he talked for about 10 minutes about how much he loved Mighty Ducks, the movie.
Fair.
Yeah. So I really, really, really hope Honora wins something at the Oscars. I've got such a sinking feeling it's like nominated for 10 or whatever it is, and it's going to win nothing. It's going to do an Irishman. And I would like Sean Baker to win something for it. And not just because I got a bet on it. So Or have I? No, actually, I haven't. Sorry, tell a lie. So it's just because I film editing, because he edited it. That's what it is. So, look, Anora, number 4, banger. My number 5 is The Brutalist. We're going to talk about it in a bit. Bex, your number 4.
My number 4 is Substance. I am guessing this is probably higher for other people in this room. Cooper. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's probably not connected with me as much as it has done for you, Mark. But I did really enjoy it. I thought it was really strong. I thought everyone's really good in it. Some of the images really good. Yeah. I don't
We will talk about it more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't really want to talk about it on my own now. When you're going to talk about it later, I'll just join in. I'll hop in.
Fair enough.
There.
Yeah.
Cool. Mark, your number 4.
Rebel Ridge.
Hell yeah, good man.
Just like one of the most Mark Nip of movies I think we've seen this year. Rebel Ridge, and it's like you say, Aaron Pierre. He's very good in it. He's very good in it. And then you get the moment where Jeremy Saulnier gets to really do that tension thing that he does really well, where he's just stood with his arms behind his back, not quite doing the old man walk stance, but similar to it. And he's just stood with his arms behind the back, and you've got Don Johnson kind of basically being a right shit talker, which he's great at fucking doing.
Yeah.
And thinks he has the upper hand, and they're getting the teletext through. And they come out and go, don't get fucking too close to him, as he steps into his, and he just completely disarms him, and you go, it's just gone off. It is. And the thing is, that sequence is about 8 minutes long. And it's one of those things where 8 minutes doesn't sound that long when you say 8 minutes out loud. It's a really long time for a scene in a movie.
Yeah.
An 8 minute scene in a movie is quite long for a movie. Especially when effectively it is two people stood talking at each other.
Yeah.
And it's just really... We've said this a lot during this list, and I think a lot during the past 12 months. It's just really good grown-up filmmaking. And I'm glad that is making a comeback. It seems a little bit like the studios have gone, hang on a minute, all of these people aren't just going to watch the Marvel movies. They're not going to see them anymore. So we need to get them in the cinema somehow. So instead of making like 3 or 4 $250 million movies, it does seem like the pot has been spreading out a little bit more. And that is a good thing. You know, a $40 to $60 million movie, Rebel Ridge wasn't even that. I think it was about $12.5 million. Is insane. But yeah, Aaron Pierre is going to be a fucking movie star. He's just got that look about him.
Yep, for sure.
Dare I say it? Because I was watching something this week, and I'll talk about what I've been watching next week. It's not even that great a film, but it has Denzel in it, and it made me click and go, there's probably a legitimate, I think now, argument you can make that Denzel might be the best ever. He just might be. Just none of us might be there to admit it yet. And Aaron Pierre might a little bit kind of be heir to that throne, a little bit of like that Denzel vibe. I hope that he finds somewhere his Tony Scott.
Yeah.
John David Washington could be. He just needs more. I ordered my hot sauce a half hour ago.
Yeah.
Moments.
Yeah, he's really good as well, John David Washington. Yeah. But that was my number. My number 4.
Beautiful. We did my number 4, Anora.
Of course we did. Yeah.
Bex, your number 3.
My number 3 is Furiosa. Really excited. That's due to land on
Now.
now, like very soon, isn't it?
Yes.
Very excited to rewatch that. It's just fucking really violent, and
You love violence, don't you?
I do love violence. Yeah, I need more violence. She's mint in it. A little love interest guy is really good in it.
You mean definitely not Mad Max?
Yeah. Even fucking what's his face?
Hemsworth.
He's really good in it.
Hemsworth's really good in that.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
It's just all round a really fucking good time, and I'm really excited to rewatch it.
Fair.
So I'm keeping mine short because I'm not wanting to be. I'm not being weird. It's just it just kind of hurt to talk. So if it sounds like I'm being unchatty, that's why.
No, you're all good. You're all good. Mark, your number 3.
The Brutalist. Is it
Okay.
coming up later on? It's coming up later on.
Okay. My number 3. Is it? I mean, I had Furiosa on my disappointments, so to kind of pay it back. My number 3 is Civil War.
Ian.
Look,
Ian.
yeah.
My number 2 is Civil War.
Oh, beautiful. All right, there we are then. Okay, so Civil War. A film that I will just say, if you don't know what side of the political spectrum this film is on within literally the first minute, what the fuck?
Which was a criticism before it came out of the movie, is it doesn't nail its colours to the mast at all. It's too ambiguous. Is it?
I think it's very clear who Nick Offerman is supposed to be representing.
Yeah.
Or a figure such as. So, look, it's a film about the ethics of getting ahead in business. What it is to just put aside, like, things that you may consider to be things that are important to your humanity in order to, like, pursue the thing you want to pursue. Maybe not for business, but for your own personal satisfaction. And also, at the same time, a film about reporting the truth, or making sure that events are captured as they should be captured, which in, conversations about AI and things like that, the idea of what the truth is something that could actually be a question in years to come. It looks incredible. It sounds amazing. Callie Spaney is great. She's so good in everything.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what she does in future years. And she's still pretty young. She's got she's gonna be doing things. But Kirsten Dunst, like, the world weary, I've seen it all kind of nature of her is so well played. Wagner Moura, it's like super charismatic, but also a bit of a cunt. And then I think it's a really, really interesting piece of work. And there are just 2 films this year that I spoke more to me. But Mark, your thoughts? Number 2 for you.
I find it fantastic how it's a really well directed movie by Garland. I think Garland is a very good writer. I've not seen him be a great director until I watched Civil War, in the sense that it's a really well shot and well scored, not even scored, soundtracked movie. So it doesn't. It uses a soundtrack like some filmmakers would use a score, but it doesn't feel beholden to, like, specific genres. It just it's in a similar way to something to the way that Scorsese uses soundtrack in Goodfellas, where he bounces it around from different genres and from different eras. That's what Garland's doing here, and every performance in it is great. You know, Kirsten Dunst plays it very well without tipping over into just being a dick. She does take Callie Spenny under a wing. Callie Spenny plays the naivety mixed with an actual level of talent and admiration, but also wants to plot her own course. Wagnamora with his, he does seem like he's having too good a time at points, but it is very much his way of dealing with it all. And you've got genuinely one of my favourite shots of the entire year is when he finally breaks, and you've just got, I can't remember which song it is that's playing over it, Might Be Daylight Soul is playing over it, and you've just got a close-up of him just fucking screaming into nothingness as just everything else is just going on behind him, and it's just it's the moment where he broke, and then the next scene he's just back to normal, and it's like that's what he needs. He just needs to have these moments where he can just, he's almost the most real of the characters within the whole thing. It's just, this is my life. You know, I'm not necessarily trying to change the world. This is my life, but what I will do is I will get the shot that I want. And then you've got the moment where Stephen McKinley Henderson gets to say to him, the shot you want will be this, and it will disappoint you. And it does, but it's almost like it disappoints him, but he likes the fact that his friend was right as well. It's just it's an astonishingly good piece of work. And like you said there, Ian, the weirdness around when it came out of people going, it's just too ambiguous about, you know, where it stands. Two things with that. One, so what? You can't always have the same message be shouted. You've got to be open to, if you've got to be open for other people having opinions. Now, I'm not saying that there's certain levels of opinion where it's just, no, you're fucking wrong, you ghoul. But people are allowed to have, you know, slightly centrist right opinions. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, very good film.
Yeah, I mean, it's a world that is not unlike ours, but isn't.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's not nearly enough information about what the other side intends to do. It's just like you've got that leader who's very Trumpy.
Yeah.
You know, and like, yeah, okay, like, but the whole thing is about there's gonna be some sort of coup attempt.
Yeah.
But there's nothing about policy talked about on the other side. It is the Trumpy one, and the things that are said about the Trumpy one feel very Trumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah. I don't know, like, yeah. I could see how more right-wing people would be pissed off with it than left-wing.
But they won't watch it.
But no, they won't watch it and they don't care. Like I'll say, I think it's fascinating that Trump has not said a single thing publicly, from what I can tell, about the fact that Sebastian Stan just got nominated for an Oscar. Because they don't care.
Because he doesn't care.
He did very strongly object to the film at the time when it was
He
released.
did just film at the time, but he's got what he wants at the moment.
Yeah.
He literally has the fucking keys to the city. Why would he care?
Anyway, we don't talk about that place
No,
over there in
no.
this house. We don't know her.
No, exactly. But it's I'm centre left, and I just wish that folks on the left side would pour more of their energy into actually fucking trying to do something, rather than just criticise everything the other side are doing.
Yeah.
That's it. And do something in a way that is actually going to not alienate the people on the centre right who you probably fucking need.
The other bit there is their traps that they're setting for you are not in any way clever. So why the fuck do you keep on falling into them?
But you can't just pander to people either. Just
No, you can't just pander.
No, you can't.
You can't pander to people, but you cannot fucking go, oh look, there's a rake, I better jump on it.
But surely better to step on the rakes, the necessary rakes now, than in 4.5 years' time when they need the votes. Get out of the fucking way.
No, I'm talking about the rake being that Kamala Harris was never going to win. They should have put them on a different horse.
Are we talking about her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Especially
No, I mean,
especially with how well Gavin Newsom's been dealing with everything that's been going on at the moment, it is insane that he isn't currently the president of the United States.
But yeah, it was stupid. It was a stupid fucking idea. She was never going to win.
Oh.
Never in a million years.
Anyway.
A woman was never going to win against Trump, and Mark knows I've been saying I was saying that for months beforehand.
Yeah. And it's sad that is true.
And it's really, 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 really sad that's the truth of it. But it is.
But if you want to win something, you've got to be smart enough to be able to play the right game.
Yeah. In terms of the UK, Bex, just very quickly, I agree that make those tough decisions, rip the Band-Aid off early on. You've still got 4.5 years to pull it round.
Yeah.
The public perception around. There you go. Yeah.
Correct, unpopular things are... They need doing. Some things need doing.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
Don't mind how I'm disagreeing with you. I'm not.
Yeah.
Fucking papers, man. They make me angry.
Bex, your number 2 film of the year?
My number 2, let's do a feature review, is The Brutalist.
Oh, shit. Well. Let's go. The Brutalist is directed. I'm just introducing it with the class that it needs. Is directed by Brady Corbet and stars Adrian Brody, Felicity Jones, Guy Pearce, Joe Alwyn, Rafi Cassidy, and Stacey Martin. Oh, and also Isaac Bancole and Alessandro Nivola. The Brutalist, when a visionary architect and his wife flee post-war Europe in 1947 to rebuild their legacy. Okay, and witness the birth of the modern United States. Really? Okay. No, all right. I'm actually going to stop that. Adrian Brody flees war. Moves in with
Hungary.
Alessandro Nivola. Sorry?
Flees war in Hungary.
Yep. Thinks his wife and niece have been killed, then discovers they haven't been, and is, through a series of events, employed by Guy Pearce's wealthy benefactor to manufacture a great tribute to Guy Pearce's mother's life.
The Margaret Lee Van Buren Centre for Creation and Activity, which we got the leaflet for, didn't we?
No.
At our screening. Yeah, which is literally like a little pamphlet about the Margaret Lee Van Buren Centre for Creation and Activity, and is a set of postcards. You know, the designs that he shows him in the cafe. It's a set of postcards with those on it.
I didn't get anything like that.
Yeah.
Where's my gift? I went to a 10:45 in the morning showing of this film at Everyman Cardiff, and I didn't get a gift, but I got a guy coming in asking if I wanted a drink.
Fair.
So, that was nice, I suppose. Right. So, The Brutalist. It's the film we were waiting for. It's pretty high up on all our lists. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. I'm just gonna start, if you don't mind, because I am obviously going to be the most negative from a actually objective point of view, given where I put it in my listing. The first half of this film is essentially a 10 out of 5.
Yeah.
like one of the great films is what I was thinking was going to be happening in the first half. When it cut to that intermission, I was like fucking floating on clouds. The second half is really, really, really good, but I think is undermined by a decision to make subtext text in a way that I thought was weirdly just not nearly as smart as what the rest of the film had been doing. The epilogue also was just discombobulating for me. But saying that, we'll get into it. Everything else around it is almost just like all-timer shit. But Bex, given it was your number 2, yeah, made a mark, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, everything was set up for me to hate this movie in reality, because we went to see it last night after work, both poorly, knowing we wouldn't get out until really late and have to drive home. Like, really, in reality, circumstance should have caused me to hate this film, just by virtue of the fact that
We were both really looking forward to going to see it.
we were both really looking forward.
If it hadn't been this movie, we probably wouldn't have gone.
No,
But it was this movie, and it made it worthwhile for us to go.
But I was angry at life last night, and that could have translated into being angry at the film, and luckily it didn't. So it really had to win me over, I think. And I managed not to cough most of the way through the film as well. I was really proud of myself. It's obviously hella long. But really, really doesn't feel it. The only time it does start to feel a little bit its length, and I think the reason why the second half feels draggier to me than the first half, is because you're starting to feel the overall length then, more than the second half being weaker, if that makes sense.
You've already had the first half, so the second half.
2.5, 3 hours beforehand are starting to weigh on you. Because the second half is really good, and like you said, I said to you now, like the break point where the intermission is, it makes sense for it to be there, but then it feels like it pads the second half because there's not as much to happen. You're like, it's actually quite a lot that happens in the second half.
Quite a lot happens in that second half, yeah.
I'm thinking about it, yeah, there is, but it just, I think because you have that break, you stretch your legs and then you go and you sit back down and it's like, but then you've got that all previous half, like, there weighing on you. So, yes, the second half does feel longer and it does feel a bit draggier. I'm really interested to watch it at home when it comes out and be able to, like, not chunk it up, but watch it a bit more leisurely. Be able to go to the bathroom, be able to go get a cup of coffee, whatever. And without it having to be this set 15 minutes bang in the middle. I think it's just a really interesting story. I think everyone's really, really good in it. And it, yeah, really, like, engrossing, if that makes sense. You can talk for a bit now, I'll have to jump in.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like Ian said there, I think we can all agree the first half is the stronger of it. And yeah, I mean that it's good. You've got the opening where it's effectively in Hungarian that is there, and it's the opening. You've got this what effectively is a letter being written to where, but it's not actually. It's been written to him, but he's not received it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he's wading his way through something. You're not entirely sure what it is, but he's wading its way through something, and then you find out it's the boat that he's on to America, and then you get, right, so that's the fucking reason why that's the poster. And it's this incredible shot of he's arriving in America. What's more fucking American than the Statue of Liberty? Yeah. But it's upside down. It's the flip of the American dream that you've got there. And you've got an incredible score by Daniel Bloomberg that's happening there, and Lol Crawley's cinematography on it is really good. That is an incredible shot, and at that point you go, oh fucking care, this is this is serious filmmaking now, is it? Go on then. And then it starts to it's very much, and I'm liking the fact that it's a film that seems to wear its influences on its sleeve, but without actually just banging you over the head with them. And there are so many. It's not just one or two filmmakers. There's across the whole spectrum of it. There's bits of Michael Cimino in there. Not even all the good bits either. Some of the bad bits. There's Bertolucci is in there. And you've also got Alan Parker in there. So it's a lot of the filmmakers that had a big impact on sort of a lot of 70s American studio cinema that maybe don't get as much of the appreciation now as they maybe should do, to be honest. That is there, and the fact that it's 3.5 hours long is incredibly Bertoluccian within that. But it then starts to weave you into this story where you're spending time with Laszlo, and you're not even really, I don't think, ever liking him even that much, but you are fascinated by him. He's a fascinating character. In the whole thing, I think there's a strong argument to make that there's not that many likeable characters within it that run through it. But it zips along at a hell of a pace to that intermission.
Yeah.
And then it gets to there and you go, whew, well, where the fuck is this going then? And then it goes down. There's a couple of bits of narrative choices that are made within the movie where you go, right, I get why you've done that, but I kind of know where that's going later on. Like, the minute she comes out in a wheelchair and has osteoporosis caused by famine, which was a thing that happened.
Yeah.
You know at some point, the first you go, all right, that's going to come up somewhere. That's there for a reason. And then the first night that she's there and she's screaming out in pain, saying, I can't stand it, you go, your brain goes, at some point, he's giving her heroin. Yeah. At some point, that's happening. And it does. And it's kind of almost not like, fucking told you, I knew it. It just kind of, it makes narrative sense. Within it,
they have a really lovely time with that heroin.
They have a great time with that heroin. There's a lot there. There's a lot of foreplay in this movie. There's a lot of hand and finger action. Yes. There's not a lot of fucking in it, but for the foreplay lovers, it's your time to shine.
Well, there is some fucking in it.
There is a little bit of it. There's some fucking. But again, you kind of know that's going to happen at some point.
I was not anticipating
because
that.
There's a moment where, and Pierce is very good at this, where he gets annoyed with the guy who comes over and interrupts him when he's having the conversation. It's like, we're trying to have a conversation here. And you go, I again went, oh, he wants to fuck him. So, yeah, all right. So
there is a big jump from wanting to fuck someone and then raping them, though, isn't there?
For him,
I didn't pick up on that at all. Like,
do you know
what? And so when it's then he's just watching him be drunks out, and then just like finds him, and then it's literally you think you're hot shit, but you're actually cold diarrhea. Like, fuck you. Like, literally. And just like, you're just a lady in the night. You're just a lady in the night. It's like, all right, I get it. Like, you're attracted by him, but you're repulsed by him. You know, you love what he designs, but you hate who he is. All right, we get it. You don't have to have him literally rape him. Yeah. And it really took me out of it.
So I was kind of expecting something like that to happen at some point.
But then, I mean, like the scene with Felicity Jones, then when she confronts him, and then it's that shot of her being dragged on the floor. That's really good, and Felicity Jones is great in that. And it's just, I don't know. I feel, and what's the end result? And Guy Pearce just disappears.
Yeah.
Like, what? I don't know. It felt like the film didn't quite. I mean, okay, you got the epilogue where it's like, all right, and Laszlo did get the credit, and you know, for all of it and whatnot. Yeah, okay, great. But it just didn't. The first half, and you know, quite a bit of the second half feels precision tooled.
Yeah, that did feel for the first time in the entire movie. It did feel a little bit sloppy in comparison.
And it just and you know, the epilogue with the whole kind of like, okay, and now we're gonna shoot it like it's the 80s. You know, with all like the wipes and stuff like that. It just, that felt like a hat on a hat. Like the film looks it fucking incredible. And the score is so good. And then you got like the 80s version of the score in that scene. It's, oh man, what are we doing here?
It maybe, it just maybe didn't need it.
But like I say, the rest of it, like Brody is ace, Pierce is like so fucking good. And Felicity Jones as well. Like the trailer did a bit of a number on me where I thought she was just going to be like the fly in the ointment.
Yeah.
She's going to come in and she's going to be like, oh, they don't want us here, blah, blah. And that whole they don't want us here thing actually like happens like quite late on. And she wasn't that. She's supportive and, you know, she wants to have her own success, and I thought that was good. I'll also say as well, actually, also, you know, the whole kind of like the rich fucking the poor thing, you already had that with what was inferred, but kind of seemed like Joe Alwyn fucking Raffi Cassidy.
Yeah.
You know, and okay, we've done that already. And then that's not spoken of again. It's just like you stay away from him and it's never mentioned again. Okay, why do we have that in there? And then you have it later on as well. Again, it feels very, like I said earlier, subtext becoming text, and it doesn't feel in keeping with like the 90% of the rest of the film. And that for me just knocks it off the perch.
Which is why I think, for me, when I was watching it, I was, because I think you do with anything like that is so dense in terms of the actual sheer amount of film that is going on there. I was there watching it going, this is where it's feeling very fucking Bertolucci. It's almost like you've got too much going on. You need to pull it back in a little bit. And it does pull it back in, but for a while, it just... I mean, fuck, it even goes to Italy at one point. For a while, it is just a bit like, you are spinning way too many fucking plates here. But, I mean, right. It cost less than $10 million.
Fair.
That's fucking baffling.
It's insane how this movie cost like half of what your average horror movie costs.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
How?
Clever filmmaking.
Fair.
Flight Risk cost $25 million.
Yeah.
You can make 2.5 Brutalists for the cost of a Flight Risk.
Yeah. And, you know, Brady Corbet is going to get to do whatever he wants next. But the thing is, I don't think it's going to be what people think it will be.
What?
What?
What do you mean?
I don't think he's going to go out there. He's not going to do fucking Doctor Strange 4.
Well, no, but why would people expect it to be?
Because I think that's what people think that every director wants to do. I think I think he will do something of modest budget again. Because I think he's very much like, do you know what? I prefer to make the movie I want to make.
Yeah.
For less money than the movie you want me. Do you want me to want to make for more money? You know, the next thing he's got is his wife, who was the co-writer of this, Mona Fassvold. He's co-written a film that she's directing. That comes out later on this year.
Right.
Which has, I believe, it's got a decent cast, I think. Yeah, Amanda Seyfried, Thomasine McKenzie, Lewis Pullman, everyone's favourite Christopher Abbott's there, Tim Blake Nelson.
Well, Seyfried's in that TV thing that you worked on, isn't it?
Yeah. It's about a religious sect.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's an incredible piece of work. I just wish the second part was as tight as the first. If it was, I think it'd been a one on our list.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Well,
same.
Maybe on your aspects. But I also think it would be, hang on a minute, this is like American classics level of fucking filmmaking. I still think it probably is, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I mean, for a start off, the fucking credits, both opening and closing, are just go on then.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, definitely not shit.
Yeah, definitely not shit. Well, evidently.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's all in our top fives,
Yeah.
so yeah. Our honest pose 100% definitely not shit.
Oh, well done, audience.
We do have a couple of, before we get into our number ones, we do have a couple.
shit list yet.
I haven't done my number 2 yet, but
Oh, of course you haven't, no. Right, sorry, no, fucking hell. Here, what's your number 2?
my number 2 is Dune Part 2. Oh, have you done your number
Yeah, it
2,
was Civil
Mark?
War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Sorry, Ian, go on.
Dune... No worries, Dune Part 2. I just enjoyed it an awful lot. I think it's a fantastic blockbuster with a lot on its mind, and second watch didn't really skip a beat for me. Zendaya, secret MVP. What she's doing, not saying a lot in that film, is something. The looks that she gives, she is going to bring some fucking righteous fury to the next one.
Yeah.
And God, am I looking forward to seeing that. So, yeah, there we are. Dune Part 2 is my number 2. Do we want to do the bottoms, or Mark, you had something?
We've got a few of our audience have sent us in like their top films of the year. So Ethan Barr, his top films: Challengers, Dune Part 2, Civil War, Conclave, Poor Things, Oddity, The Holdovers, Furiosa, The Substance, and Bike Riders. Dylan says Substance best of the year. Also wants to give a shout out to Poor Things. Worst has to be Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire, a film with so many things in it that mean fuck all.
Did we squeeze Poor Things into last year?
It was in last year, yeah.
Yeah.
For us, it was last year. Different people have different
Yeah.
ways of categorising these things,
That's fine.
but it was my number 1 last year, so...
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Rick Kidd. I thought so. You're doing well. For the NBA show, here's my countdown list. Best, number 1, Dune Part 2. Number 2, Civil War. Number 3, The Wild Robot. Dune just blew me away again. Civil War was one of the best cinema experiences I had last year. Seatside, drink service, and at all. And The Wild Robot really hit me in my sentimental buttons. Loved it. Worst, Madam Web and Megalopolis tied. Madam Web speaks for itself. Next time I spend my money on something daft and frivolous, I'll feel better by remembering that Coppola spent 120 million on the dreck that was Megalopolis. Surprise, Alien Romulus. Had really low expectations, but really enjoyed it. The callbacks didn't bother me at all. And disappointment, Joker, Folie à Dieu. Knew what it was going it was going in, but genuinely didn't quite expect it to be so boring. The ultimate cinematic crime in my book. Again, I forgot to put Joker in my top 10.
I almost put Joker in my disappointing, but it was already too stacked.
It would have probably been in my top 10, but again, I for some reason, I'm completely... I do this every year. I miss out a couple of films.
So you know when you say I think about it too much and I worry and panic about it too much, you need to worry and panic about it more.
I don't.
You've missed 2 films.
So?
Just don't take it seriously, Mark.
Todd Phillips.
That's kind of what I was thinking, to be honest, Bex.
Todd Phillips. We'll be alright with that.
Fair.
Bex, okay, I'm looking forward to this. What's your bottom 5?
Oh,
Have you done 5?
I've done 10.
Yeah, I've done 10.
Oh, 10. No, fine, 10. I've done 10 too. Oh, shit. Right, go.
Okay, so starting off with one that's not actually that bad, but it's just, it commits the crime that horror movies shouldn't, and it's just fucking boring, and that's Salem's Lot. There's two of this already. Don't make another one if you've not got something new to say. Number 9 is Don't Move. If you're going to take a fucking really interesting premise, make an interesting movie out of it. Number 8 is Strangers. People make stupid fucking decisions. He deserves to die. I want him to die in that movie.
I agree. There's bits of Strangers I like. What?
No. Okay. Number 7 is Terror. Just fucking bobbins in it. And I am very, very forgiving of shit horror as long as it's fun. This isn't. Number 6 is Drive-Away Dolls. Just fuck off. Absolute fucking waste of time. Number 5 is Mother's Instinct. Again, fuck off. What an absolute fucking waste of time. It takes itself so fucking seriously as well. Just absolute shit. Number 4 is Wicked. Hated every second I spent with it.
That's a lot of seconds too.
Yeah. I genuinely, I might ask for a pass to not watch number 2.
No.
I think that could be granted.
Thank you. Number 3 is Argyle. Unforgivable, what they did to Henry Cavill's hair. That fucking Bryce Dallas Howard thing, she's awful in it. It's just awful, and it is ugly to look at. It is an assault on the eyes.
I take it we're still talking about the film and you're not talking about Bryce Dallas Howard now.
I'm being a little from column A, a little from column B.
I'm fucking glad that you're the woman on this podcast.
Number 2 is Mean Girls. I think I've ripped this one to shreds when I actually reviewed it, so I won't go into it too much. But again, just please don't. If anyone's out there not watched it and is considering it, just fucking watch the Lindsay Lohan one. It's horrible. It's mean-spirited. It's got none of the charm of the original. It's just crap. And then number 1 is Inside Out 2.
You really hated that movie.
I really fucking hated it. It was, do you know what? It's so fucking smug. It's there going, everyone likes Inside Out because it helped them understand their children. What we're going to do is we're going to do the same, but for teenagers. Oh, so you feel like you've got a really good handle on teenagers, do you? I was a teenager once. Yeah, but you're really fucking hella old now. I know lots of teenagers. Yeah, but Hollywood teenagers. Do you know any normal people? We've got this. You fucking don't. It's shit. And that's me.
Okay.
I feel
Mark.
really mean to Salem's Lot having it in the same list as the rest of that. But it really angered me at the time.
I actually genuinely feel like my list is bad movies. Just like, these are really bad movies on my list.
These are bad movies.
But mine are really bad. I think this just shows the levels that I go to below what you guys go to watch movies.
Okay.
Although I think Ian's seen all these, actually. Well, no, not all of them. Maybe not all of them. Number 10, Our Little Secret. Actually, wait, did you watch that?
Yeah. Yes.
It's shit, innit?
Oh, it's coming.
Number 9, Red One. Just what if we made Christmas from the point of view of the logistics department? What if we didn't? Also that. What if we didn't? Number 8, The Merry Gentleman. I do still think that this is what has happened to Chad Michael Murray post his almost Hollywood career.
Yeah.
Number 7, The Union. Just no. Also, for anybody who doesn't know what brown sauce is, it's a British sauce that is vaguely spicy and fruity and tastes banging on a bacon sandwich. Number 6, another appearance from Lindsay Lohan in Irish Wish. Just
Great.
yeah. Number 5, Nutcrackers, where, this time what happens is they look at Christmas and go, hey, what if Christmas was just fucking dull and boring and about hateful family and kids that you're supposed to think, oh, aren't they charming, these little fucking, like, hellions? No, they're dickheads.
Is that the one with the big presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 4, pains me to say it, Space Cadet.
I'm gonna tell her.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody knows by my love for Crazy Emma Roberts, but this is just, no, sorry, no. Number 3, Megalopolis. Just go fuck yourself, Francis Ford Coppola. It's not even that the movie was just shit, it's that you were shit throughout your entire promoting it. Number 2, The Watchers. It's just boring, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was boring.
Just real boring. And number 1 was Atlas.
Oh, yeah.
Just why? Just Jennifer Lopez just gets angry at things. Just shouts and is genuinely unreasonable towards everything because she has to do everything herself. Everything you're doing is going wrong. Calm the fuck down. It is. It was basically, women are too emotional. Here's the proof, the movie. And we shouldn't have that.
No, probably not, no.
Yeah. It's just, I'm a fiery Latino. Could you not be for a bit?
So, I think, though, right, if you're going to watch shit Hallmark quality Christmas movies,
Hot Frosty.
they shouldn't be allowed in your worst ofs.
No, they should, because Hot Frosty exists.
They should be allowed in your best ofs.
Yeah.
If they truly
No,
surprise you.
sorry. No. Only one of those is a, bad Hallmark movie, and that was The Merry Gentleman.
Yeah, but you've got, like, Irish Wish and fucking
That was a Hallmark
Our
movie.
Little Secret and stuff like that.
That wasn't very good.
They're Hallmark quality movies, aren't they?
I think you've been very mean to Hallmark. Ian, what's your bottom 10?
My number 10 film we discussed last week, Wolfman.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really not great. Talked about it last week. Number 9, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Wow. Fair.
Could be the death of cult of film. We'll see in the years ahead.
I don't think it is, for the simple reason is I don't think it's had the lasting impression that they expected it to. I think it literally, if you're going to make a film that effectively is a collection of a meme of the week sewn together, don't be expect if its lasting kind of imprint on culture is as long as a meme of the week.
Yeah, the next appearance of Deadpool in the MCU is going to be fascinating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. My number 8, this came out in 2024, Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scar Giver.
Oh, fuck. I genuinely forgot about those movies.
There you go.
I think I watched number 2.
No,
I did.
Did you?
And I don't know. I logged it.
They're just nothing.
I'm assuming Netflix actually lost money on that. It's hard to tell with Netflix finances,
I don't
but
think
yeah,
Netflix, no.
no, they don't. My number 7, Terrifier 3. Just the thing is, it's made with enough skill and craft that it's not higher up.
That's its downfall.
It's the most. It just some of the stuff in it was just some of the most. I don't ever really want to think about that again. Stuff I've ever seen, which for someone 20 years my junior may well be. I mean, I feel like, you know, that ad for Lost Highway where it was like Siskel and Ebert, 2 thumbs down, another 2 reasons to go see Lost Highway.
Yeah.
I feel like me saying that about Terrifier 3 could be the same for some 15-year-old.
But then again, Becky is the target audience of Terrifier 3 and you thought it was shit, didn't you?
But partly because I thought it was too fucking tame and partly because I thought it was too fucking glossy. It should look low budget, it should look nasty, and it doesn't.
I appreciated Terrifier and Terrifier 2 for what they were doing. Yeah. Like, Terrifier 3 just goes to some subjective places that I ain't into. Like, the assistant woman masturbating with, like, the broken bottle or whatever it was. Yeah. Like, that ain't for me. No. And the just, and especially where like the origin of that is like she's the final girl from the first one who's been possessed. It's just like it's so grim. Yeah. And then the pouring the rats down the mum's mouth and then slitting her throat open, then they come out the throat. Like,
That's it though, but look at the like nasty shit in 1 and 2 was quite creative and quite like, oh god, are they really doing that? But like not in a fun way, because slicing a girl from the vagina to the top of her head is not fun, but like in a kind of kind of way, but not like actively gross. If that makes sense, and because it was
it does.
Tackily, it was like, I don't know, more live withable. Whereas this, it feels like they've gone, oh, everyone likes the really sick shit, let's do it. But because it's got that Hollywood gloss on it, it feels really wrong.
The bit in the bar where Clint Howard is in it, and like that bit, I thought was all right. You know, because they're fucking with him and then he fucks with them. Fair play. Yeah. I thought that, you know, but there's the nihilism of it, and it is. I think it is just because I'm getting older, you know. But hey, it's my worst 10 of the year. Objectively, it's probably not in the worst 10 of the year because, like I say, the craft of it. I mean, like the practical effects are stunning. You know, it's mad what they can do now with a relatively with these kinds of practical effects. But yeah, I mean, like the thing you say about the gloss is interesting because like Terrifier looks like a film made by a bunch of mates, and that's I think maybe that grubbiness makes the grubbiness of the kills more palatable in a way. You know, that's an interesting point. But hey, look, I mean, I got a degree in film and English literature, and I wrote an 8,000-word dissertation about the difference in portrayals of sexuality between the 60s and the noughties by looking at the originals and remakes of Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm not a prude in that way. Terrifier 3 did, like, yeah, it had an effect on me, you know, and like I say, it's my list, but I don't know. I mean, like, just in terms of the craft of it, it probably doesn't deserve to be on here. But the effect it had on me, the way it made me feel, it should probably be higher.
Yeah.
So, you know, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Right. My number 6, Atlas. utter fucking. We're just gonna slop some shit out. Jennifer Lopez going, oh, it's a big Netflix film and you're gonna release it on Memorial Day. Yeah, right, fine, I'll do that. Do I need to see the script? Fuck you. I'll just read what is given to me. There you go, you got Atlas. Number 5, The Final, Attack on Wembley. Just really irresponsible documentary filmmaking, which seems to be very critical of the people who weren't able to stop it, and not very critical of the people who are actually doing the violence.
Yep.
What a guy saying he didn't realise it, but he was actually stepping on someone's neck. Oh no, I didn't know I was doing that. And there's no questioning of it. And then another guy saying, like, do I regret it? No, I'll remember this for the rest of my life. Great. Well done.
Yeah.
What it like the fact that the key argument of this is don't let them do it, but if you do let them do it, then it's not on them for being allowed to do it.
Yeah, it is.
Mad. My number 4, Our Little Secret. Yeah, what Mark said. My number 3 is Madame Web. Just absolutely incoherent filmmaking, which is, in most years, would be number 1. But my number 2 is Megalopolis. Just a absolute folly.
Yeah.
But fair play to Coppola. The only money he's lost is his own.
Yeah.
For once. So, there's that. But, Adam Driver, mate, what are you doing?
Adam Driver needs to do something.
Yeah. Otherwise, he's just going to have to do an MCU thing.
Yeah.
He's like 1 or 2 poorly performing films away from having to do that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to. My number 1 worst of the year is Back to Black.
I just haven't watched it just because I just don't think... I will at some point. But...
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just disappeared as well.
Yeah.
It's had no lasting effect whatsoever. But, all right, well done. You gave, several £1 million for Mitch Winehouse to whitewash what he did.
Yeah.
Well done. Nah, I'm just a lovable taxi driver played by Eddie Marzan, I am. Yeah, I've got nothing to do with that. I didn't know my Amy was taking drugs. And I tried to help her. Yeah, fuck off. No, just absolutely no. No. Her walking off up the steps into white light at the end. It genuinely offensive. But just really, there's nothing about her lived experience and how she comes up with the lyrics and whatnot. Which, to be fair, is a criticism I gave to a complete unknown as well. But there's nothing in there about the charm or the personality that Amy Winehouse had. She's utterly dependent on the men in her life in this. She has no internal agency whatsoever. What Sam Taylor Johnson thought she was doing with this, I don't know. It absolutely baffling. Marissa Abel, who I'm told is very good in industry, is just an absolute no mark in this. There's nothing there. Awful bloody film, and again feels irresponsible, to be honest. So yeah, there you go. Back to Black. My number one worst.
Yep.
So, here we go. And I've got to wrap this up soon, sorry. Number ones of the year. Bex.
I mean, I think we all know what my number one of the year is. It's Transformers 1.
That is a fantastic fucking choice.
It was Transformers 1, let's be honest. Since I saw it. I've rewatched it. I love it. It's earnest. It's heartfelt. It makes me happy. And I love it so much. And I will rewatch it probably every couple of months, probably for the rest of my life. It brings me joy.
Good.
Just a film that is just...
It is delightful.
Yeah, I enjoy this. Yeah, that's great.
It just makes me really happy if I'm feeling sad. It just makes me happy. If I'm feeling happy, it compounds it. It's just a really lovely time. Transformers 1, you had me at hello.
Yeah. It's for you, I think it is Sunday morning childhood distilled into film form.
It was, but it was also like... The 80s were quite gatekeepy with gender stuff, and Transformers was something that I was just not exposed to. And being an only child, like to all intents and purposes, I didn't have a brother that I could piggyback knowledge of that off. So I didn't get a Transformers exposure. I didn't get the first Transformers the movie, like the one that you're so in love with. This is my Transformers the movie for me, and it's just fucking mint. And my heart grew 2 sizes. So yeah.
Nice. That's great. Mark, I got a feeling we got the same number one.
I got a feeling we have the same number one. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It's 3,
Two.
2, 1.
The Substance.
The Substance.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
It's just. It's. What I think that I love about The Substance is something that gets thrown out, and I've been shouting this phrase down for a long time now, where when people say, "Oh, it's the type of movie that doesn't get made anymore," yeah, it does. We've just watched it. These movies do happen. It's just not enough people watch them, and the great thing about The Substance is enough people watched it. And they managed to get, because it was that, I mean, the script must have just been that holy fuck, that it was, they got Demi Moore, they got Margaret Qualley, they got Dennis Quaid, and the thing is, they got everything, they lightened up, bottled it, everything worked. It's a batshit body horror genre movie that there is a feasible world where it could pick up at least 1 or 2 of the big hitter Academy Awards. And it is unapologetically a genre movie. And a genre body horror movie. It is that good, a genre body horror movie. It is that good that it is Ian's number 1, and he has a problem with body horror.
That's a fair point, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it's
not just about that. It's got shit to say, but it's also having a rollickingly good time with it.
And it's a classic of the sledgehammer to smash a walnut genre, or subgenre of cinema. Every single line is, this is feeding the point of the film. But that is what it is. It's just like a fable of, this is what happens as no, it's not a fable. What it's an excoriation of society and how women are dropped as soon as they turn like 50, as it is in this film, and how standards are just ridiculous, and or at least in kind of like this kind of world they are. But it does it with its tongue in cheek throughout the whole thing, where literally at the end you've got Monstro Elizasu putting a picture of Demi Moore's smiling face on her face
And thinking, yeah, that'll do.
Can you imagine though if that won the Best Picture Oscar? Can you fucking imagine? Like, it won. It just won. Fucking Wicked will probably win it. But, like, can you imagine if The Substance won? That would make me so happy. Demi Moore is literally the only Oscar I'm rooting for this year. I don't give a shit about the rest of them. I think the nominations are crap this year. But, yeah, the Demi Moore for Best Actress, yeah, I want it. I want it to happen.
And I mean, she's so good. And it's interesting because I've seen people say that like they start tearing up at the end, and they're like, and people are like full on bawling when she's walking through that corridor with the people around her when she's got the Demi Moore on her face, and it's just, but it's this fantastical. How can they not see she's a Monstro Elizasu, but just with Demi Moore, like paper stuck on her face? And then she just goes in there, says a couple of lines, and then basically just starts spilling blood all over the place. At one point, throws up a boob.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so ridiculously silly at the end, but also it is tragic, but also it's all these venal people getting absolutely covered in blood. Dennis Quaid, like, basically looking like I'm done. You know, like, he's defeated at the end. There's no way his character's ever going to get, like, away from it. And then the most wild ending you've seen. I mean, the craziest last 2 minutes of any film nominated for Best Picture ever.
Yep.
It's stunning, but then also the package design of The Substance is some of the best production design I've ever seen, and it didn't get nominated for Best Production Design.
Fair point.
The guy, it's amazing. the voice of The Substance as such, that guy, just how withering he is incredible. Margaret Qualley is great, but Demi Moore's better. And just as a takedown of LA and expectations of women, but then also in a tragic way, the takedown of Demi Moore, where she's asked, "Do you want to stop?" And, you know, no, I don't. I want to keep on doing this thing. And she regrets it. And she gets the termination thing and she puts it in. And then she regrets it because she wants her to wake up because she wants that life. She's not learning. And then Monstro Elizasu happens. It's, you know, not exactly a takedown, but it's a tragic end for her character as well. But again, like I say, her turning into Monstro Elizasu and then just putting the smiling picture of Demi Moore on her face and thinking, yeah, that'll do. It is funny.
Yep.
And, you know, yeah. I think it's an incredible bit of work. And it doesn't drop a stitch on second time watch either. You know, it's something, is The Substance, and it's going to linger. And the fact that it's got nominated for 5 Oscars is enough for me. If Demi Moore wins, icing on the cake.
Yeah. The thing I think about The Substance is it's one of those films where this film will have a lasting impact on film making and film marketing, because you will have, by I would say September of this year, you will have some film where during the trailer it will be called "This Year's The Substance" in quote marks,
Yeah.
and it won't be anywhere near this year's The Substance, but that's what it'll be. It'll become the benchmark for this is what we're going for.
And Universal had the film, and then thought and basically wanted the ending changed. Fargiat said no, and then they sold it off to Mubi.
Yep.
Mubi bought it for I think $10 million, and it's done I think like 60 worldwide. You know, which is a massive amount of money for the film that this is.
Yeah, it's currently on, just shy of $80 million.
Oh, there you go, 80. You know, like wild.
Yeah.
And just good on it. Substance, film of the year.
Yeah.
For me.
And me.
And not Bex.
I mean, it was up there though.
I mean, nothing was touching Transformers 1 for you, was it?
No.
I just loved it as Transformers 1.
Literally, Bex turned round to me after the first half of in the intermission, The Brutalist. And you said, well, what do you think? I went, well, it's special, isn't it? What do you think? And your exact response was, if it wasn't for the fact that Transformers 1 exists, this would be my number one in the year so far. But it was just like, there was nothing.
Well, no, I think that was my explanation after I said, yeah, really great, loving it, second best film of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been locked in as your number one literally since the second it finished, the first time you watched it.
I mean, since the second it started, I think, and my eyes just went all.
Good stuff. Right. Good show. I've got to go. Next week.
What are we covering next week, Ian?
Oh, that's great. Substance and Transformers 1. Brilliant. We will be covering Companion.
Yep.
And can we get to Presents?
We'll have a see if we can.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
I'd
But
like
at the very...
if we can, and I'd like to try and get. I would like to try and get to A Complete Unknown as well, because I know you've seen it, haven't you? But...
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, at the very least, we'll talk about Companions. Becky will probably get to A Complete Unknown. So good stuff. Right. Thank you very much for listening, folks. Thank you very much, Becky.
Thank you very much, Ian.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you very much, Ian.
And Jason, the two films that you were involved in, neither of them appeared on my bottom 10. But
Still gotta fuck yourself.
I mean, come on, dude. You made two films that were pretty fucking bad this year. You know, you produced and co-wrote one. You directed and co-wrote another. Just give it up.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Not even a do better. Just don't.
Just go away.
Just stop. Right. Bye.
Bye. Right, I'll let you get off, bud.
Right. Cheers, guys. Bye.